What's up guys, I finally got a generator. I've been looking for one all summer. It's the Predator 3500 from Harbor Freight, and we're gonna take a look at how to break it in.
This is the good life. This is the good life.
Hey, if this is your first time here, I'm Chadwick, and welcome to Chadwick Family Films, where we try to make the most of every day by getting outside to play. Today, I'm gonna be opening this box. It's the Predator 3500. I've heard great things about this generator. It's a low-cost generator compared to Hondas and Yamahas. I think I bought it for $699 on sale at Harbor Freight. They also have a $150 two-year replacement plan, which is awesome. They said, you know, if you come back after a year and there's, you know, the slightest thing wrong with it, they'll replace it with no questions asked. One of the reasons we picked this Predator 3500 generator is because it's an inverter generator, which means it's gonna be a lot more quiet. So it's great for camping, areas where you're a little bit more concerned about the sound. The reason we went with the 3500 watt was it should run everything in the camper fine. Some people get the 2000 watt generators, but then they end up having to carry two and they have to maintain two generators. I was thinking I'm okay with carrying a little bit more weight. It weighs about 100 pounds or so, so it takes a lot of lifting to get it in the truck, but I'd rather maintain one machine than having to do this with two of them, which is what you do if you had a 2000 watt. We're gonna be putting the battery in. It's got an electric start. We're gonna put new oil in it. We've got a magnetic dipstick, which is gonna help pull metal away from the engine and get some gas going. The one thing these like, as far as gas goes, that I've learned is that you wanna put ethanol-free gas in. So there's a website that I'll link down below that kind of points you to where you can purchase ethanol-free gas in your area. It's supposed to help keep things cleaner, make it run better. I don't know a lot about engines, but it's what they say to do, so we're gonna try it out. Cool. It's always nice to have a helper. Okay.
Hey, we got foam.
This is to put the oil in. Quick start guide. It comes with an RV plug, clips to charge the battery. If you look right here, there is a fuel gauge. 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me. Awesome. There it is. Okay, in here, I'm checking the battery door. I believe I have to connect the battery. Yep. So you want to always do the red cable first and then the black side. So it comes with a couple screws here. This will make our connection real snug. There's these little washer, little nut pieces. I think they go right inside of there. We're gonna go right through, get in there. Screw it down with the little Phillips head that they gave us. That's nice and snug. And then I'll do that again with the negative side. It's like a little mini car battery. And then this little seat belt clips on there. Just gotta put the cover back on for the battery compartment. Get that going till that's snug. And battery's done. So right here on the top it says we need to fill the gas and add fuel stabilizer. So the fuel stabilizer I'm using is called Stable. It just takes a little bit of this in the ethanol-free gas we're gonna be putting in here. Okay, we've got the fuel in there now. Next is the oil. Now the oil's going in. It says oil fill inside, so there's no mistaking where we're gonna be putting the oil in. I'm gonna be putting 10W30 in, which is what it recommends. Conventional oil to start, and then switching to synthetic after it's broken in. All right, here's our stock dipstick. I've got a magnetic dipstick. We're gonna be using that instead. And the idea behind a magnetic dipstick is that it'll draw the metal particles so that they stick to this rather than going back through the engine. So let's throw some oil in there. Needs the oil to keep all the parts running smooth, and then the gas is the fuel that it burns up. It turns the gasoline into electricity. Just doing a few ounces at a time with this. So the dipstick is screwed back in. Suppose we can close this cap up. Turn the economy switch to off. So on the front here, there's a little switch you switch to off, which it was on. turn switch to start for cold engine or run for warm engine. Push the start button for 3 seconds. There we go. And it's running. And now I can slowly go up to run. So now I've got the generator moving up to run on the dial. Sounds really smooth. And obviously it's pretty quiet. I'm like right next to it. Flipping that over to lock made that jiggling sound stop. What we're gonna do is just gonna run this for 1 hour to start. So there's a meter here in the front. So you can see right here, it's got 124 volts. You push the output, it tells you how many amps are pulling. Got nothing plugged in right now, so it's 0. And it tells you how many hours the thing's been run. It's brand new, it has 0 hours. And then it tells you how long it's been running since I started the last time, so just 4 minutes. We're gonna come back in an hour and we're gonna do the first oil change and get all that initial metal out of the system. You hear it crank up a little bit. Our output's at 3.8 amps right now from that light. The volt amps is basically doing our math for us, so it's saying 470 volt amps, which is, I guess, our watts. I'm excited to see how this thing works out on the camper. We have just hit our 1 hour mark. So 1 hour. So we are going to shut her off now. Time to change the oil. I'm gonna replace the 10W30 with another 10W30 conventional. The tools you need is a socket that's a 10 millimeter with an extension to get in there, and then some sort of a platform or rig where you can kind of angle the generator down. I'll show you what I mean here. It's basically any sort of wood that I had laying around to make a little bit of a ramp to set this guy on. Always lift with your back, not your legs. Or is it the other way around? Slide her back just a little bit. Not a bad idea to have your shop towels with you, along with your 10 millimeter socket. We're gonna open this guy again. We're gonna take out a bottom rubber plug that you can kind of feel it. It's just a rubber piece, and you wanna move that over to the side because that lets the oil drip straight through underneath, and there is a hole that it will fall right out. And then there's also the oil plug, so there's 2 things to take a look at. Okay? There we go. So there's a washer on this bolt. You don't want to lose that. Oh, and there it goes. Starting to pour out. You see it flowing down there? It's like the salmon of Capistrano. So we'll just let that drip for a minute or 2. It's definitely pretty shiny in there. I don't know how much the camera picks it up, but it's like mining for gold in there right now. So many metal particles, so. Hey, look at that. I don't know if you can see there, or there is a little black metalness on the end of the stick. I'll put a link for where you can get one of these dipsticks if you're interested. It was pretty cheap, it was like maybe $5 or $6. I figure if it's gonna extend the life of something that we need to turn our power on for camping, it's worthwhile. Yuck. I mean, it looks kind of cool. It's like a science experiment. Okay, so I think that wraps up our break-in video on the Predator 3500 generator. Real excited to see how it works out with us camping. I'll leave you with me starting it up one last time. You can see how quiet it is. Thanks for watching.